All right. Okay. Do you want to start with the quotes on the front or the article on the back?
Let's start with the this man's account on the back. So we are reading about the segregated swimming pool. So one thing that surprised me right away as I was reading is that first sentence where he says, after we moved to Edison, there was a resentment that we had broken into the community. I guess I never thought of someone like moving into a community and becoming new neighbors. Like someone would think that they had broken into the community and ruined like their little utopia or their little sense of community.
I marked that too, and I actually had to look up the word resentment.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't know what it meant, and anger at being treated unfairly. So, because at first I didn't understand what the author meant by that. But yeah, and my question was, does that mean African Americans are living in the community now? Because I thought it was really interesting the way he put it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you said, a very negative connotation.
Yeah, it made me almost think that that it was like an all-white community, that there had been no people of color living in Edison.
And it was interesting because, in the second paragraph, something I already knew was the sentence, we now have managers of the pool and the police department standing there. Like I did know, just learning about the civil rights movement before that, the police did get involved if a person of color was in a white only area. So I did know that. But what I thought was interesting was at the end of the article that the police actually didn't enforce the rule. So even though there's this resentment in the community, the police, I'm assuming could have made him get out of the pool.
I'm sure.
But listened to the mom or just chose not to. And so I was wondering, are the police just enforcing the rules without truly believing in them? Were they afraid of the mom? Have they never had to do this before?
I was thinking about that too. And to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying in that 4th paragraph, I really couldn't believe she had the courage to say, if you want him out of the pool, you take him out of the pool. And by the way, as you take him out, you tell him why he can't go into the pool today. So I was wondering that too. Was it because the officers were in uniform and didn't want to get wet? Did they just not want to cause a scene? Did they really believe that he should be able to swim too? I mean, it doesn't say. I suppose the manager could have got into the pool and they could have dragged him out, but that would cause a scene. So,
and I'm kind of go off your idea, that last sentence. And this kind of reminds me, it's like both the mom and the police officers.
Yeah.
The author says, I think they were deciding we're going to do something so that our children will have a better life than we have. So, if we want to give the officers the benefit of the doubt, maybe they just have to play that role, but are just like, you know what, this is not right. We're just going to step away. And then the mom, I wrote be the candle, which is a connection to one of the quotes on the front.
Yeah.
The Eleanor Roosevelt, it is better to light a candle than curse the darkness. So the mom could have just listened to the police and then complained about it and cried or told her son life's not fair. But she was like, you know what, I'm going to make sure that things are better for him and I'm going to stand up.
Yeah, she really was the candle or the light in the darkness by having the courage to say, go in the pool. I found it shocking that, or surprising that he was more willing to listen to his mom.
Yes.
I kind of tried to put myself in that position. Like, would I rather, if I'm 13, would I listen to my mom or would I listen to police?
And that's kind of what was challenging my thinking.
I just challenged my thinking as well.
I just have this image of if you're African American at this time period, and they never said the year. I was kind of, wondering what the year was. You see a white man in uniform and you're African American, you just, you don't cause ripples in the water. And so it surprised me, just like what you said. So I was wondering, did the author not have much experience with the police at this time? Maybe no negative experience. It just kind of seemed to contradict what I thought I knew about this time period.
Yeah. And I think, I guess even beyond the time period, I would say just at all, I don't know. Maybe I would listen to my mom over. I don't know.
I
mean,
I don't know if I'd listen to Diane Wagner.
I mean, you do trust your mom. I mean, that is your first teacher.
That's true.
I don't know. But I think that I saw this quote back here, like sometimes our light goes out, but it is blown into flame by another human being. So that was by
yes.
Albert Schweitzer.
Yep.
Did I say that?
I think so. And I marked the same.
But
passage.
I saw like that young boy's light going out as he was told he couldn't go into the pool. Like I felt like the light inside of him was dying.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, every kid wants to go in the pool with his friends.
And they didn't
or her
they didn't even
friends.
give a reason.
Right. But when the mom said, like, you go in that pool, you go under that turnstile and you go in that pool, that was kind of like her blowing the flame into his soul again, like
Yeah.
giving him light because and maybe it was just like, you know, you listen to what you want to listen to. Maybe that was part of him listening to his mom was like, she's got the answer I want, so I'm going in the pool. But yeah, so it was kind of like the mom blew that flame, rekindled that flame in his soul again.
And you know, that I think that is one of the reasons, you know, he's still telling this story.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's why I thought like be the candle.
Yeah.
You know, one of the quotes that really stood out to me and I kept thinking about as I was reading The Segregated Swimming Pool is that first one by J.K. Rowling.
Mm-hmm.
We've all got both light and darkness inside us. And it's like, you know, if you're in a position where you're supposed to like oppress or, you know, enforce an injustice, like you can choose not to.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes back to, you know, one of those essential questions, you know, like what allows some individuals to actually stand up
Mm-hmm.
and what allows some to just participate. And I feel like if you're a police officer at this time, you're in a really like a really tough position. You might be aware that what you're doing is unjust, but
it's your job to uphold the law.
It's your job, and the law is unjust, but you enforce the law. What do you do?
So one way you could do that is what they did, is showing up to the swimming pool, answering the call, but then just kind of turning a blind eye and letting it go.
Which is like a perspective of this time period that you don't hear much about.
Right.
Which I thought was interesting.
Right.
Do you have anything else you want to add to the discussion before we end?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Thank you.